Okay, so I make about 10 to 12K a month on Airbnb, and I want to talk about how you can do it too. So the reason why I'm talking about this right now is like we're a crypto channel for the most part, but we're really a personal finance channel. I say we because it's me and the voices in my head. We're really a personal finance channel, and since the market is retracting, Federal Reserve Board is sucking money out of the economy, and everyone's getting poorer, then I think we need to do a couple different things. And I think Airbnb is at least one of the things that a lot of people is the best bet for them to get started. So as kind of our, let's say, investments go down, then we're not getting that same interest rate of return from bonds and crypto and stocks and stuff like that. And that probably will, our savings rate could probably still stay the same. But what that doesn't do is that doesn't increase our income. And we're going into kind of a bear market. And I think that this is what we need to look at most, is increasing that income. A lot of people talk about saving, which is right here. That gets you there. And a lot of people obviously talk about investing, but if the money is getting sucked out of the economy and crypto's not going too well, stocks aren't going too well, you're not gonna be able to make money there. So it's really this. And this is basically from assets. Oh my God, my spelling is gonna be freaking terrible. So whatever, if I spell it wrong, just get over it. It's just how it's going to be. So it's going to be from buying assets, right? We have liabilities, and liabilities would be things like my stupid Tesla that I spend money on every day. Liabilities would be like this rent payment. Liabilities would be all the fancy groceries I buy that I can't afford from Erewhon, that kind of stuff, and getting them delivered, that kind of stuff. So assets is what we want to stack up, especially going into this bear market. So one of the best ways to get started with Airbnb is to see, and for any kind of quick income generation, is to see what kind of assets do you already have. Do you have a house, right? Or are you renting? Do you have a car? Do you have a skill? So like, what kind of assets do you already have? Like, this can increase our income immediately, like today. But let's just say you have a house or you're renting, which I would assume that's the vast majority of you. Then we could do Airbnb. Now, you have to check with your local laws if you do have a house or a renting, and you have to see the local laws and you have to see what they say about renting yourself on Airbnb. But if you're like me and kind of frisky, then you might just do it anyway. If I was renting and had an extra room or two in my building, in my apartment, then I could rent that out on a night-to-night basis, which is a very good strategy that a lot of people do. So that's one. You can just rent out by the room, of course. And then two, you can rent out the whole home. Now I would challenge you to, maybe you could go stay with a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a family member or something like that, and start getting this money passively earned basically. And it's not passive, I will tell you, it's not passive, but we'll get into that in a little bit further on in this video. But a room or home is obviously a great way to start. And what I like to do is, if you're like a real estate investor, another little pro tip, and you're looking at a place to potentially buy an Airbnb, put an ad up, create a listing, right, on the platform, even if it's something that you don't own yet, and go and just put it out there for 24 hours or something like that, and see the return rate. You don't want to do it too long because you don't want people to, waste their time trying to book it and stuff like that. And just set it that they can't automatically book it. Make it so you have to do an inquiry. So I thought that was a good strategy. I've used that strategy before, looking at things to potentially buy, because you don't know, if you're looking at, say you're an out-of-state investor, or it's just a city you don't know, or an even neighborhood you don't know. And so this is a great way to do that and to see where the interest lay or lies. God, I'm so bad at that. Okay, so that's something that you can do there, which I think is good. And I would challenge you with this whole thing, if you are kind of wanting to make some extra money or wanting to get your Airbnb going, just take action. So just like today, just do anything, and just do it for, I love this strategy, for like 2 minutes. literally just go to Airbnb and sit on that website and click start listing or whatever, and just do it for 2 minutes, and then you can stop, and then you can circle back around tomorrow. That's from Atomic Habits, which is a fantastic book. I'll try to link it in the description. I'm sure everyone's heard about it by now. Your boy needs some I need some fancy colors. Anyway, so Atomic Habits, basically just do 2 minutes, and it just creates the pattern, right? You will obviously scale up, but don't worry about scaling up right now. Just worry about doing the action, right? Doing the action, because this can be so overwhelming. You can say, I don't know the platform, I don't know the pricing, I don't know this, I don't know that. Just take action. All right, so that's one way to take action. And if that's easy for you, I would say the second one, and a huge thing to do. So first of all, we'll have number 1 for start listing. Number 2, photographer. So this is what I get super excited about. I will go ahead and schedule photographers before I'm even ready to do the damn thing. So schedule your photographer, get on their calendar. You can Thumbtack, I think it's Thumbtack, right? Thumbtack or TaskRabbit, or I just type in real estate photographer in your city, real estate photographer Los Angeles, real estate photographer San Diego, whatever, and then schedule them. They should probably be around, depending on metro, 75 to 150. So this would be your startup cost. Now, if you don't have $75 to $150, I would look at just your iPhone photos. That you can totally do that. Just make sure they frame really well. Maybe put them into an editor online, or send them to Fiverr and get them edited. But as soon as you make like your first check, you want to go and you want to spend this photography money, because that's going to be your best bang on your buck for sure. Literally, this is going to be 99% of the sales cycle is going to be the photography aspect of it. So make sure you get that done. And then what you can also do is, when you're crafting your listing, you can Google like best titles. So like, you don't have to recreate the wheel. And when I first started in real estate, that's what people would tell me all the time. They're like, Steven, you're trying to recreate the wheel, you're trying to do all this stuff. I was like, yeah, because I've been learning a lot about it, and I want to do things that I thought, work for other people. But there is a process that have already been done, and you can recreate the wheel eventually. But in order just to get your action going, just go and do whatever the hell other people have already done. Super simple. And Google best titles for conversions for Airbnb. Done and done. Okay. So then you will have your pictures, you will have your title, and then you can do the same thing. Best descriptions, how to write a description, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to hit publish yet, right? You can just be doing this, and you do not even have to hit publish. So type in, get your little description going. Okay, that's just great. And then you will go ahead and I think you have to like submit the documents for payment. So PayPal does take a lot. It takes like $15 when you transfer money from PayPal, instant transfer from PayPal to like your bank account or whatever. But like, I leave thousands of dollars in my PayPal account. Like, I just let it rack up through the course of the month, because you're gonna want reserves. That's another little pro tip. You're gonna definitely want some reserves. Like, I just had my property manager reach out and say that it's a $9,000 HVAC system that needs to be replaced, and that was literally like 2 days ago. I was sitting on the couch. I'm like, Jesus Christ! I was like, $9,000 on a freaking Sunday morning, like, that's ridiculous. Like, I have other things to pay for. Like, I don't have just a $9,000 to throw around that stuff. I mean, I do, but it's annoying. But it would have been way more annoying had you not had the reserve. So I like to get into the best practice of just keeping it in the PayPal account for every month, and then you can pay yourself. And you should be paying yourself around 35 to 50% of the revenue that you get from Airbnb. Now, why would you pay yourself 35 to 50%? Well, it's because that is your profit. Let me see if this camera's still working. So excited that the camera's still working. You probably didn't see any of this stuff. I'll try to hold it up, higher. But basically, you want your reserves, right? And 30 to 50% would probably be your profit, and that's with cleaners, right? So if you really are trying to milk this and make every single dollar and penny that you can do your own cleaning, and that would be a pain in the ass, but it might be worth it because no one's going to clean like you do. And the cleaners, we've gone through a ton of them. Some of them are great, some of them are not so great. It's just an ongoing battle, and this just is what it is. So that is something that you can definitely look at, is cleaning it yourself, and you can make even more money. You should be charging around I would say 75 to 130, $150, depending on where the Airbnb is, depending on how big the house is and stuff like that. But also value your time too. What would make it worth it for you if you're going to do your own cleaning, which honestly, it's a great way to make even more money on this platform, because that could rack up. I mean, if you have, let's say 8 turnovers a month, God, why would I pick something? Let's just say 10 turnovers a month, since my math is terrible, and you're charging, let's say $100 right there. That's an extra $1,000 a month. I mean, that's significant. And you should think about too, how do you monetize every kind of aspect of this guest? Now, do you have another business, or do you have friends that have businesses that would want guests coming into your area? Think of how you would monetize that. Like if your friend's a realtor, say, hey, will you give me a bonus? They technically can't compensate people that are non realtors or whatever, but they can buy you gifts and stuff like that. You're like, hey, if I set your stuff out and I get you a client from someone visiting, can I get you a bonus? Think of what else. Could you go to a restaurant and say, hey, will you give me some coupons? And every time they redeem a coupon, you give me like $1, something like that, and like there's a million things. And you could also sell within the home itself. You can sell like snacks, which we have not done, but I wanted to get some like cool vending machines and stuff like that, which we haven't done yet, but I think that would be super dope to do. So you could do all that and really think that if one guest is coming in, how can we monetize them in a natural, way that feels organic, but also gets you that bag, right? You want that money, you want that money bag, you want that cap. Is that what kids say? Cap, no cap? Like no cap? I don't know. All right, I'm too old for life. I'm too old for Los Angeles, I'll tell you that, but I'm definitely too old for life. Okay, so that's that. Get your description, get your payment, get your photography done. I would wait until the photographer actually sends you the photography, as opposed to just going and doing your iPhone. Like if there's like a couple day period, and just tell the photographer, be like, hey, I need these in 24 hours or 48 hours. Just tell them what you need, and then from there they will come plug that into your listing, and then bam. So what they're going to do is they're going to ask you for pricing, and then you can Google course pricing in your area. There's some free tools, and you can also go and do the smart pricing. I don't like doing smart pricing. My property manager does smart pricing. I don't like it. I like to do it manually, because you can withdraw it or like go lower based off of popularity and stuff like that, and they do it themselves too, but I just feel like I like to have the control over it. Anyway, you'll put in your pricing, and then they'll send a special invite. They will, and you can pick what kind of like special invite discount that you get. Like you can give them 10% or whatever for the first like 3 people that book, and then just do it, and then be really ready to answer all these questions, and try to look at this as relationship building. This is something that I have not done, and I could do a lot better. I just look at them as like cash, because I got YouTube, I have real estate flipping, I have all this stuff that I do instead. And so this is a really great way. Look at it, relationship building, because the people that are really crushing it on this platform, and the people that have return business are the ones that are doing relationship. Another pro tip, and I'm running out of stuff, but I'm going to write it on here anyway, is this is just a mental model of like how to look at business and stuff like that. So your cost of acquisition for one person, is going to be, let's just say $10. And in pretty much any business or whatever, your cost of retention to get them to come back is going to be a fraction of that. It's going to be about $2. Now, 9 times out of 10, what they're spending, this is $1, they're spending the exact same amount of money the first time and the second time, just for the mental model, right? So your cost of acquisition to someone that has already used you or already like your stuff is a lot less, and you still make the same amount of profit. So it's a better structure. So be friends with them, be nice, be available, but also set your boundaries. I like to say, hey, listen, we work from 8 to 7, just like you or just like that, or we have jobs as well, or we have businesses as well. this is when we're available. Do not expect us to be available without that. And it's really surprising. People get over it. Like they'll learn to handle themselves. Like you can call for emergencies, of course, but try to set them up to be self-sufficient and try to set those boundaries. Like, okay, we're not going to answer. You can ask and question and stuff like that, but we're not going to answer. Also set check-in times and be like, hey, you can check in from 8 to 7. If you're going to check in after that, do with it yourself. And Airbnb allows you to write out all these little templates that you can just have automatically sent. So there you go. And that is your Airbnb 101. I'm going to do like lots more business building, lots more new content on this channel. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about this. Like and subscribe, and also comment, and then reach out. We have a WhatsApp group for $49 a month, and about to really blow it out of the water on there. Just high level mastermind about Airbnb, about businesses, about crypto, and about stuff like that. So if you need to ask questions, go do that. You can also go to the Instas and go to Steven_Clarke, STEVEN_CLARKE. You can ask me a question over there, and I will be available for you, to you. See ya.